We are here in our coffee talk in Expert Adelaide. Today we are going to talk about Kaplan Business School. This school has been open since 2008 and has grown from being a small school to having almost 4,000 students at the moment. With me today, I have the pleasure to introduce you to Gobi Muthusamy. Gobi is the Senior Regional Manager in Kaplan Business School Australia, and he's actually based here in Adelaide. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for being here today.
We're going to
thanks. We're going to jump into the first question and also congratulate you about your new campus opening. I want to tell you all that Kaplan has recently opened a campus in Perth. So good on you if you want to tell us a bit more about that and actually talk about COVID situation as well, because you just opened and then COVID happened.
That's right, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an interesting time for all of us, of course. Perth campus is something that we have been in the planning for a long period of time. It's not something that we just open. There's a lot of planning that goes around. So it's been in the planning for at least 2 to 3 years before we decided to open up in July intake. We have altogether, as you know, 5 campuses now.
Yes.
So we are in Adelaide, that's where we are in right now. We have Melbourne, we have Sydney, we have Brisbane as well in addition to Perth. Perth, of course, we started in July intake. That was our first intake, and that's a very successful intake. In fact, even though we started in July during this COVID period, and we are going into September intake, which we'll talk about in a little while. And Perth has been a thing that we have been in planning stage for a long time, as I mentioned earlier. We are offering the postgraduate courses in there. So the business administration postgraduate courses as well as the business analytics postgraduate courses are offered in Perth campus.
Okay, perfect. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
So regarding COVID, are you still doing online classes or are you planning for your next term to come in campus? Do you know any plan?
Very good question. In fact, I think a lot of our viewers may not be knowing this. Kaplan Business School has been in online education for a quite long period. We have been delivering our MBA for the last 7 years.
Yes.
So when COVID hit in March in Australia, when we had to deliver everything online, we were in a much better situation compared to most of our other providers in Australia, because we had the online platform already established and students were studying, and to migrate all the other courses into online was much more easier. Now the question is coming back into the campus. In fact, we did a survey with our students to find out whether they would like to return back to the campus or continue online, and lots of students expressed their interest to come back into the campus. And based on their interest, we decided to do both online as well as in-class option for students. So we have, for July intake, we have students who are studying in class. So right now, as we speak, we have classes running in our campus.
Oh, okay.
In addition to online.
Okay. So you can choose. So students could choose if they wanted to do online or class. Okay.
Yes, that's right. So for July intake, we have already done it. Of course, the July intake is closed now.
Yes.
We'll be going into September intake. That is the accelerated mode. Accelerated mode is delivered online, purely online. But November intake is something that we'll be considering as to which mode we'll be running in. And most probably we'll have both options available for students.
Okay, so now that you mentioned, I was going to talk about this later, but you mentioned the accelerated term. So how did it all came into your mind?
That's right,
what's the story behind this?
Yeah.
Let's just explain for those that are watching us. So for term 2, there was the option to do accelerated term, which is starting 28th of September, if I'm not wrong.
That's right, 21st.
21st.
Yes.
So how does it work and why did you come with this idea?
I'll explain that. So we have been running trimester-based mode for quite a long period. From 2018, of course, we've been running trimester-based mode. So we have March intake, July intake, November intake. And then we decided to introduce this year a September intake. Now again, it's not something that we just brought in. It's been in the planning stages for the last 2 years.
Okay.
It's something that Kaplan does. We sort of go into the planning for period, and then we introduce it. We want to make sure that when we introduce it, we have everything in place. And we have the September intake that is another week or so. We have the intake closing and intake starting really. So again, we've been planning for a long period of time before we started that intake.
Yes.
And it's not something that we wanted to introduce. It's actually a popular request by our prospective students as well as our agent partners who have been asking us to introduce this September intake. So we decided to introduce that. And the intake itself is delivered 6 weeks teaching, 1 week assessment. Of course, most of the subjects offered, of course, we don't have the final exams. So 6 weeks class and 1 week assessment is 7 weeks
total.
The accelerated time slot for students. And the students need to do only one subject, Shishi. Only one subject. Because accelerated, one subject is equivalent to a full-time study mode.
Yes.
So students can then progress to the November intake next and then continue with their studies progressing to the next year.
It's very interesting. Okay, and I want to speak about another very interesting thing that we had a lot of comments, inquiries from our students, and it's about the 50% scholarship for your master in health management. That's something that we also wanted to congratulate you about because it's very special. And if you would like to tell us the reasons why it all
came into place.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's sad to say COVID-19 has had an impact in all of our lives. In fact, you, myself, everybody else are going through this phase of, it's not a very nice period that we are living in. And some economies have had a larger impact than other economies. People have lost their livelihoods. Some have lost their lives. So sad to say. So within this doom and gloom period, there are heroes, and those are we call them frontline health workers. So to appreciate and thank them, we decided to offer the 50% scholarship we call it the Primary Healthcare Leadership Scholarship. This is for our MBA, Master of Business Administration, Health Services Management. So students can study at 50% scholarship. There are entry requirements, of course, for any scholarship. So as soon as the student meets the entry requirement into the course, there is an extra requirement, which is 1 year work experience in the primary health care sector. So that is during the COVID-19 period, of course. So the more information can be obtained if anyone can head into our website. Just type in Primary Healthcare Leadership Scholarship and you will get all the details of terms and conditions and all the details there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And please have a sip of your coffee.
Of course, yes, before it gets cold.
And meanwhile, for those that are following us, you can leave us your comments, any questions you have. If you're interested in this scholarship, also you can leave us your details and we will contact you for this or any other course and any other questions as well. Just leave it below. Now that we are talking about scholarships, so the health management is not the only one. You are also offering different incentives for the students.
Yes. That's right. So we have other scholarships available in addition to the health services management course in our MBA. We also have regional scholarship, Shishi. That is, we offer in different markets. Of course, it varies from 10%, 20%, and so on. The best place to get those details are on our website as well, depending on the region. And we also have high achiever scholarships. Anyone who has been achieving in their academic score quite high, we're talking about 90% and above, there is a scholarship of 30% available as well. So those scholarships are available. Again, to mention, going back to the Health Services Management MBA scholarship, the Primary Healthcare Leadership Scholarship, it's not only available for those students who are in Australia. It's also available for those who are
offshore,
other parts of the world as well, because this pandemic has had an impact in every country around the world. So these heroes who have been sort of putting their life in danger to save somebody else's life, we want to recognize and thank them.
Okay, so as long as they cope with the entry requirements and they can probably start studying online,
Yes,
and then join us in Adelaide.
that's right.
That's very good. So regarding the school, we mentioned, I don't know if we mentioned before, but there are Kaplan branches in 30 different countries around the world. It makes it, being a graduate of Kaplan, it makes it recognized internationally. But I also wanted to ask you, what is it that makes a Kaplan graduate different from graduating from other schools? Or what is it that makes Kaplan different from other schools?
We mentioned about the global presence of Kaplan. We are in 30 countries, 400 locations, and we have more than 1 million students studying with us every year. So that's sort of the size of Kaplan.
Yes.
In Australia, of course, we have lots of Kaplan entities. I can talk about Kaplan Business School. What makes Kaplan Business School different from other providers is that Kaplan Business School offer more practically oriented teaching with a focus towards students' career. That is what we do at Kaplan.
Yes.
In our classrooms, we make sure industry-focused materials are delivered in the classroom, in a smaller classroom environment. We bring in industry experience lectures, and that is our focus. We want students to have that experience of what really goes on in the industry. And we also have made conscious decision because the students get a lot of knowledge of course materials. Of course, the course information is delivered. But what we also wanted to focus was the soft skills. As you know, Gisela, soft skills is very important for students to have a successful career.
Yes.
And that's what we do in the classroom itself. In addition to that, we also offer internship for students. And the success rate has been fabulous for internship. 1 in 3 students who go in internship are employed by the same internship provider immediately after the internship program is over. That is one of the success stories that we have. Yes. According to Quilt survey, our postgraduate students earn 20% better than the industry average. That speaks about what we have been doing at Kaplan. So those are some of the things that we can talk about Kaplan. We have lots of other things that we can talk about also when it comes to Quilt. We have, in terms of student support that we offer, Quilt survey, which is quality indicator for learning and teaching, which is done by the federal government. So these are federal government funded survey. Kaplan Business School is above every single public university in Australia in the metrics of student support. And the learning experience, we beat every single public university. So those are some of the statistics that we can talk about to differentiate between other providers.
Numbers speaks by themselves.
These are independently verified information that I'm talking about. We also have been in the finalists in global awards. You must be knowing Pioneer Awards.
Yes.
And Kaplan Business School, last year we were in one of the categories, student support. This year we are in 2 categories as the finalists. One is for our innovative MBA that we offer, which has 7 specializations. In addition to that, our career services, which is part of the student support that I was talking about, that is also in the finalist category in Pioneer Awards, which I believe will be announced. Who the winner will be in October. So fingers crossed it will be Kaplan Business School in one of the awards at least. So this is what we are looking forward to. I think, Shishi, you may have come across Australian Financial Review Higher Education Award. And there are more than 156 providers who have lodged. Only 23 providers have been selected. All 23 providers are Australian highly ranked universities, and one of the providers in the 23 is Kaplan Business School. Again, for what we have been doing. So, go to Australian Financial Review, Higher Education Award, you will get all the information there as well.
Online.
So these are independent verifying information about Kaplan Business School that sort of differentiates from what we offer compared to the other providers.
Perfect. For those that doesn't know, in Kaplan Business School, you can find both undergraduate and postgraduate programs. You just mentioned that your MBA offers actually 7 specializations. I just wanted to mention few like management, tourism, entrepreneurship, health services that we were talking about, digital management, women in leadership, which is very good. And so one question that we often receive from our students is, if you are offering higher education, what is this? Why Kaplan is a business school instead of being university?
Yeah, good question. I think this may be a common question asked by students, I'm pretty sure. We intentionally decided to become a business school that is focused towards students and students' career, not academic research. The time we go into academic research, it's become more research intensive environment. That's what the universities are well known for, whereas we focus on the career of the students. We want to work with the industry and place the students into the real world in internship and get them placed in the real world. One of the statistics that we sort of released a few months ago is that 100% of our postgraduate students or postgraduate graduates are employed. There's some of the statistics that we can put forward out there. Yes. So that sort of differentiates between us and the other providers. And we intentionally decided to become a business school rather than going into the university status. Yep.
Okay. So we mentioned the MBA with 7 specializations. Is there any other popular course that you would like to mention?
Yeah. Let me just focus on that MBA because MBA is very famous, as you know.
Yes.
In Australia, it's one of the top 10 listed program at Kaplan Business School. So MBA has 7 specialization. Students can choose one specialization or no specialization, or they can do dual specialization. Those options are available, Shishi. Another program that is actually quite becoming very popular is Master of Business Analytics.
Okay.
And we have Master Business Analytics and Master Business Analytics Extension, which is 2-year program. That is also quite famous in the market. In addition to that, of course, we have the Accounting Masters available undergraduate programs, but as 2 popular courses, it will be MBA with 7 specializations as well as Master Business Analytics program.
Okay, perfect. We are almost arriving to the end of the talk, so you drink your coffee. I will invite everyone to leave us comments if you haven't done yet. And one thing that I usually like to quickly talk about is about the facilities that students can find in the school. We know I've been a student myself, and sometimes it's very useful to know what am I going to find, as well as I know that Kaplan has a lot of activities, not only related to the school, to what you're studying, but the sports and getting to know people. Usually international students come here by themselves, and we like to socialize. Yes. So let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's a good question to ask, because when students come from overseas, it's natural that they are coming from an environment to another environment that they are not used to.
Yes.
So loneliness can come into place as well. So we have lots of activities that we do. One thing Kaplan Business School is well known for is the personalized services when it comes to administration, when it comes to career, when it comes to academic support. We walk with the students and students' journey. We want students to do well, and therefore we have a lot of support available. In addition to that, we have lots of activities that goes on in the campuses that we have, 5 campuses. And we do have a lot of industry speakers coming into the campus. Not only it's part of the program in MBA, industry speakers coming in. In addition to that, we also do a lot of industry speakers coming into our campuses, engaging with the students as well. In terms of sporting activities, there are a lot that go on. we don't have organized sporting activities as such, but we do organize certain activities social activities, to put it. I think you've been in some of them as well
yes.
as a student of Kaplan Business School. The best place to find those details are when they go into our website. It'll have a lot of information, a lot of pictures. Some of them are, when you look at the excitement of the students, you get excited as well. So go to our website, those viewers, and have a look at some of the activities that we have in there.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close?
Yeah. I think we covered quite a bit about Kaplan Business School. I think in terms of what I could cover from now onwards, I have only very little other than to say it's a privilege to have an interview with you, Shishi.
Thank you so much.
And Expert Education has been one of our partners, trusted partners for a number of years. So to those viewers, with confidence, you can go and approach one of the counselors and apply into any of the Kaplan Business School programs.
Yes, if you're interested in any course, you want more information. So next intake, we, apart from the accelerated term that we were talking, then we have the November intake as usual. So you still have time, just reach us. And I'm going to quickly check live if we have any questions. All right. You can still send us a message. Leave your contact details. That's better for us. And if you have any particular question for Gobi, we can also make it arrive to him, and we will let you know. Okay. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks you very much,
coming. Thanks everyone for watching us, and we'll see you in the next coffee talk.
Thank you. Done? Yeah, good. Thank you.
No, thanks.
Yeah, good. Thank you.